Wohin? RFID-Chip und Impfzwang. Nur Verschwörungstheorie?
Die Initiative Schau hin, was dein Kind mit Medien macht, ist ein Medienratgeber für Familien. Es soll Eltern und Erziehenden Orientierung in der digitalen Medienwelt bieten und konkrete, alltagstaugliche Tipps geben, wie sie den Medienkonsum ihrer Kinder kompetent begleiten können. Unterstützt wird die Initiative unter anderem von den öffentlich-rechtlichen Sendern Das Erste und ZDF sowie vom Bundesministerium für Familie, Senioren, Frauen und Jugend. Doch wird der Medienratgeber seinem Auftrag gerecht und können ihm Eltern wirklich vertrauen? Aufschluss darüber gibt ein Artikel mit dem Titel Nicht alles glauben. Kinder müssen Verschwörungstheorien erkennen, der am 25. Mai 2020 veröffentlicht wurde. Interessanterweise wurden darin als sogenannte Verschwörungstheorie unter anderem die Implantierung von Mikrochips sowie der Impfzwang in der Corona-Krise aufgeführt. Dabei waren es in der Vergangenheit die Medien selbst, die immer wieder gezielt und koordiniert für das Implantieren des sogenannten RFID-Chips geworben haben. KlarTV berichtete in zahlreichen Sendungen darüber. Auch für eine Impfpflicht infolge der Corona-Krise haben sich bereits mehrere Politiker wie Bayerns Ministerpräsident Markus Söder, die Kultusministerin von Baden-Württemberg Susanne Eisenmann CDU und auch der Grünen-Chef Robert Habeck ausgesprochen. So sagte Habeck:
Wenn alle Menschen sich freiwillig impfen ließen, wäre das natürlich immer besser. Doch sollte das unter den Erwartungen bleiben, müsste man eine Impfpflicht an dieser Stelle durchsetzen.
Daher lassen sich weder der drohende Impfzwang noch die Implantierung eines Funkchips einfach als Verschwörungstheorie ableugnen. Um zu verhindern, dass derartige Falschmeldungen von den Kindern ungefiltert als Wahrheit übernommen und weiter verbreitet werden, verweist Schau hin auf angeblich seriöse Informationsquellen wie zum Beispiel die Internetplattform Korrektiv, das ARD-Projekt Faktenfinder sowie den von ARD und ZDF gemeinsam betriebenen Kinderkanal Kika mit seiner Nachrichtensendung Logo. Die empfohlenen Quellen sind aber keineswegs unabhängig und neutral. So erwies sich das unter anderem von George Soros finanzierte Recherchenetzwerk Korrektiv als ein von den Leitmedien gezielt eingesetztes Instrument, um Propaganda gegen alternative Medien zu machen. Ebenso wenig lässt sich der ARD-Faktenfinder unter der Leitung von Patrick Gensing aufgrund dessen Nähe zur linksextremen Antifa als neutral bezeichnen. Auch der Kinderkanal Kika fiel immer wieder mit ideologisch verzerrten und manipulativen Kindersendungen auf. Noch im Jahr 2016 wurde den Kindern auf Kika die Implantierung eines Funkchips schmackhaft gemacht und als neuer Trend vorgestellt. Im Medienratgeber Schau hin hingegen wird uns nun erzählt, dass es sich hierbei um eine Verschwörungstheorie handle, ohne dafür nachvollziehbare Fakten auf den Tisch zu legen. Fazit: Mit derartigen Aussagen erweist sich Schau hin als ein weiteres Instrument im Propagandafeldzug der Mainstream-Medien gegen Andersdenkende und hat sich damit als vertrauenswürdiger und objektiver Ratgeber für Familien selbst disqualifiziert.
Shalom, all honor, praise, and glory be to Yahweh Bashem Shah, Wahakodash Wakad, double honors to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone who will well, peace and blessings to the brothers teaching the truth across the four corners of the earth, where we have been scattered to, unfortunately, before greater good, and to the rest of you believers out there, you women and children, friends of the prophets of the Israelite nation, which consists of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. To you, I say peace and blessings as well. If you're out here proving this, your faith, right, and by your works. All right, and it's hard, but you gotta, keep trying, striving for the truth unto death. Psalms 14:4. Have all the workers of iniquity have no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread. and call not upon the Lord. So as you can see, the RFID chip is being pushed against, well, it's being pushed in Germany and targeted towards so-called blacks or so-called or the Israelites. A little Israelite girl was featured in the news in Germany for the RFID chip. So that's Augsburg. All right. Now, that's what's interesting about it. They mentioned the coronavirus. They mentioned the RFID chip, the implant. So automatically telling you that this whole coronavirus thing is all being set up towards the marking of the beast. And I'll title this lesson pretty much the mark. Esau is everywhere. The title might bounce around, but Esau is everywhere. And so will his mark be, right? The beast and his mark will try the world. You see? The beast and its mark will try the world. Because you have his world in which he runs, as it tells us in the scriptures, right? So since I say that, I'm not going to pull it up on the screen. I'm going to go to it in my sword. This is 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. This is Esau's world. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it, of Slaki, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. And I got one more. I'm going to bag that up with. So Esau's running his world. This is his world. So the beast and its mark will try the world, is what this lesson will be titled. Psalm 7 and 9. Oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. See that? That's the end of the world, meaning it being seen in the end of Esau's foot. See that? This is 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world. See that? And I'm going to jump up to verse 8 because it tell you this. And it said, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. What's the heel of a person? It's the very end of a person's body, because the top of your head is the top end of a person's body. So the heel will be the bottom end, right? The very end of a person's body, right? And body being likened as a body of work, right? In which Esau will be able to perform during his time, right? During his world. You see that? He'll be able to work during his world. And you've seen his body of work, what he's about. You go and look up his track record, man. So-called white people's track record. Because Esau is, in fact, and in truth, the so-called white man, right? The so-called white race, no matter if they're German, Swedish, so-called Irish, wherever they may be from. Because the beast and his mark is about to try the world, because Esau runs the world, right? His world has been simulated everywhere, right? He has burnt copies of his album, the song he wants everybody to sing. He sold it everywhere. He's distributed copies everywhere. So this is the tune of the so-called white man is the song of people's lives, if you will, currently, right? Because it's his world. So 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, one more time. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Because That's why that was noted and how they were born. When Jacob came out, when Esau came out first, the very end of him had Jacob's hand attached to it, which was his hand attached to his heel. See, the very end of his foot. Because at the end, it will show that Jacob will be pulling Esau out of power, right? The end of Esau is the beginning of Jacob, you see? So the end of the so-called white man, right? And since Esau came first, the so-called white man, it would be his world to start off. But Jacob, when it was his end, right? Once he's out all the way out of the way, right? So basically setting up Jacob to be able to come. And Jacob is going to rule forever. His world will rule forever, but that's not the point. Psalms 7 and 9. Oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just. You see? Oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just. You see that? For the righteous God trieth the hearts and the reins. Now, I'm not going to make this about proving that this per se. I just wanted to show that this is in fact Esau's world. You see? Because that's what Esau represents. He represents the wicked because he was first. You see that? Because it says, oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. And Jacob will be the just because he came next. You see? Oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just. You see that? For the righteous power trieth the hearts and reins. You see? So he put Esau to the test, during his rule, and his body of work has been nothing but wickedness. Now, with that being said, Psalms 14 and 4, have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread and call not upon the Lord? So when you go into that word, so the workers of iniquity is Esau, because iniquity means trouble, ultimately. It means trouble, and it also means wickedness. See that? Sorrow. Right? And so pretty much in order for you to be wicked, you have to be doing the opposite of what the Lord said to do. You see? So if this is the so-called white man's rulership, who's responsible? He is. This happening on his watch. But I'll do you one better. He's the one doing it. Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You see that? Esau, so-called white man. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, now going back. It says, have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people, who's the Lord's people, the Israelites, as they eat bread and call not upon the Lord. You see that? So the Lord is showing you that his people is being eaten up. His people are the Israelites. They are being targeted. When you go into that word eat, it means oppress, right? Oppress has the synonyms of subjugation. When you oppress, you're having pressure put on you. People are putting mental pressure on you, you see? And what's the mental pressure? This is Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. You see that? Because that's what it does. Let's go back real quick, just to show you that clearly. So you go into that word eat, right? It means, oppression, to devour, meaning of oppression, right? Waste, destroy, basically destroying the Lord's people, right? And then when you go into the word oppression, prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment, right? It says mental pressure or distress. You see? What's the mental pressure that can be being applied on the Lord's people from the workers of iniquity, the wicked, right? Because iniquity means wicked. And it said the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, right? And Esau is ruling the earth right now. because we're waiting on a new earth to be established. So this current one will be under the so-called white man's rulership because the world has not been refreshed yet, as the scriptures tell us. We're waiting on a new heaven and a new earth because the first current one is under the so-called white man, who is Esau, because Esau is the wicked. See? It says, now when you go into the word persecution, that ultimately telling you basically being tried because they're doing this to you because of your race. You see this? Hostility and ill treatment, especially because of race or political or religious beliefs. So when you're persecuted, you're getting treated wrongly, you know what I'm saying, in a very ill manner because of who you are, what you're of, right? What you believe, what you teach, and that's this, you see? Now, Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world. You see that? To try them that dwell upon the earth, you see? So that's the oppression. That's the so-called white man eating the Lord's people up, which is the Israelites, which is why you had that little Israelite girl which appeared, you know, but that's good enough because he's just showing you who's the people he want to target, you know, because we know we come down seed and all that, but still, that's the frame, that's the profile of who he's targeting for this RFID chip, man. You see that? The hour of temptation. What's the hour of temptation? It's a time when the Esau is going to eat up, right, the world and all the inhabitants of it that are subjected to him. But primarily, as we just seen, is specifically the Lord's people, the Israelites. And when you go into the word eat, as we just showed you, it means oppress. You go into oppress, it means mental pressure. What's the mental pressure behind it? Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their hand, in their right hand, or in their foreheads. You see, in the spiritual, that's the right hand. You see, you that's your right. The right hand represents integrity, right? Actually being spiritual, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. You see? So you can't buy or sell. You can no longer run a store without having this mark. You see that? Cash registers that you have now will be obsolete. The cash you have now will be obsolete. You know, you want to be an entrepreneur, you won't be able to do that anymore in the way that you've been doing it. If you're, you so-called blacks, aka Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, you want to go to the grocery store to shop for your family, you won't be able to do that anymore. You're a little girl, you want to go spend your allowance, your so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, you won't be able to do that anymore in the way that you have. You have to get a mark, a chip put in your hand, an RFID chip put in your hand. You see, it's a technology like no other. You see, and when you go up some, I'm going to start at verse 14, Revelation 13:14. And deceiveth them that dwelleth on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do. You see, deceived. Mental pressure. You constantly seeing everybody get it. They constantly telling you on TV it's the new technology. All the celebrities got it. We could just transfer all the money over. This is a miracle that is actually working, you see? Because miracles denotes that someone is verified by the Most High. This is why Yahweh was sent to give the Israelites the word of the Father, and the Lord verified him by way of miracles. That's why he said, the works I do. He said, if you be the Hamashiach, tell us plainly. He's like, the works I do testify, you see, for me. They bear witness. So that's how the so-called white man is trying to come. And that's mental pressure. Because if you don't really understand the Father, you don't really know these scriptures, he can have you believe that the Father's dealing with him and working with him. Nope. It says he is on the left-hand side. He's the temptation. Will you go for it? He's not really what you should be truly dealing with. He's the temptation, man. You see? And he uses temptation. That's all that comes from him, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, note the beast, you see, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. You see, that they should make an image to the beast. You see? So, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth, all the inhabitants of the earth. It says, by the means of those miracles, we're advancing in technology, as they say. You can open your home, you can start your car with the RFID chip. You don't have to, if you want to go to a bar, all you need is the RFID chip. You want to go to a party, you want to host a party, everyone needs the RFID chip. You see? That's mental pressure, man. Because people love their mirth, man. You see? And especially the Israelites. The Israelites like smooth things. Real quick, since I say that by the Spirit, I'm gonna try to get a couple more and close this out. This is Isaiah 30 and 10. Would say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. You see? That's how Jake is. That's how the Israelites is. See that? It says, I'm going to start at verse 9. Start at 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You see, this is talking about, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophesy not unto us right things. Who's the prophets sent to? 1 Ezekiel 3 and 1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go and speak unto the house of Israel. You see that? Verse 4, and he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. You see, for thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. You see, not to many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou cannot understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they will have hearkened. You see, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are imputed and hard-hearted. Now, so that's just proof, you see? So it's going to be it's mental pressure right there. Esau could just play off the traits, the current construct of the Israelites. They like smooth things. You see, would say to the seers, see not. Isaiah 30 and 10 would say to the seers, see not. You see? I'm going to start at 9. This is a rebellious, lying children. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You see, would say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. You see, get you out of the way and turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Jake be like, I ain't trying to hear that. You see? It says, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverses and stay thereon. You see? Therefore this iniquity, there it go, you see, shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. So this wickedness, man, this trouble, you basically going to trust in Jacob's trouble. You're going to fold in Jacob's trouble. That's during that time when you want to get back to partying and not taking things serious, not being serious. You're going to fold. And that's why the so-called white man is targeting the Israelites, because the Israelites are the motor of the earth, man. They're the salt of the earth, and he really wants to get you destroyed. You see that? So that's pretty much it. Going back to the Revelation 13 and 16, or 15, it's 14, it says, and deceiveth them that dwelleth on the earth by means of those miracles, right? Everybody but Israelites primarily targeted, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. You see, that's going into your lifestyle, man. Live your life according to this, man, because your image, man, it's how you're perceived, you know, and what's perceived is the way you live, your lifestyle, man. You see that? Which had the wound by a sword and did live, because the so-called white man just goes back into the previous philosophies, and the Lord tells us in Ecclesiastes, he requires that which is past. You see that? And I want to do a lesson too by the Spirit, if the Lord permits, on understanding the beast. You know, because Germany is exactly the beast. This is the beast. This is coming from the beast. That's why it's being pushed from Germany too, and also on and even on the Israelites, all the way from Germany, because the beast consists of NATO and the EU. And guess what? Germany became a NATO member on May 6, 1955. So Germany is a part of NATO. You see that? So the U.S. is connected with it. You know? You got the U.S. in the NATO. And the EU, that's the beast. Period. A bunch of European countries, or even if they're not all Europeans, they still became like a bunch of Edomite countries, Salakia. And even if they're not all Edomites, which they aren't, they basically are, because they believe in what he believes. See, iron sharpeneth iron. They're the same. See? See that? So you can't make this up. U.S. military got 21 bases in Germany. And guess what? The Israelites are scattered everywhere. You see? So, and he had power, Revelation 13 and 15, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's mental pressure. Because they could put that out there. You know, that'd be the penalty. You know, and Jake ain't got no integrity, man. He talks about that in Proverbs 15, you know. But anywho, so as you see, man, he calls all both small and great. See, no matter if you're grown or a little kid or an adult, man. You see, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Man, if you in prison or not, man, if you got a record or not, to receive a mark in their right hand. That mark is that RFID chip, the mark of the beast. You see, it's the mark of the beast. See that? The beast runs the world, man. Because this is the beast world. The beast is primarily Edomites. It's an Edomite thing, man, at the end of the day. You see? So the beast and its mark, and primarily the Israelites. And primarily the Israelites. James 1 and 1, James, a servant of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and of the Lord Yahweh HaMashiach to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting. You see, my brethren, count it all joy when ye shall fall into diverse temptations. You see? Knowing that this trying of your faith worketh patience. Now, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect, meaning complete and entire, wanting nothing. See that? We'll get to the point of completely being that empty bag, man. Not folding, because the Lord's going to keep us. But the so-called white man's about to apply that mental pressure from all ends of the earth, because that's where the Israelites have been scattered to, right? To try to oppress, to put that mental pressure. You see that? Those temptations. And our people are very simple. So don't be deceived. You know, Lord willing, pray that you don't be deceived and fall victim. All right. John 3:16, for God, Yahweh Basham Yahushua, so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. You see, for Yahweh Basham Yahushua sent not his son into the world to condemn the world, but the world through him might be saved. You see, because you have many worlds. So what world is he talking about here? But Israel, Isaiah 45:7, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord in the Lord Yahweh Basham Yahushua with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, world without end. See that? Because Esau's world is going to end. So the world, the mark of the beast, the beast and his mark will try the world, man. It's going to try all the Israelites. Every last one of you. Us. But he going to keep the elect from it. So he ultimately going to fail. Because if he can't get us all, that's it. And it's already written, he won't get everybody. You know? Job 5:12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, you see? So that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. You see that? So that's that, man. He's going to keep the elect, man. The elect is already preordained to get that, man. Period. By having the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushua on them. You see? Verse 15, it says, but he saveth the poor from the sword. You see, but he saveth the poor from the sword. That's the Israelites. From their mouth and from the hand of the mighty. We don't want we to keep us back from their piercing words, man, which are likened unto swords. They try to come off talking, we're trying to help heal you, give you a vaccine and all this other stuff. Well, when you know the scriptures, I know you're trying to hurt me because that's witchcraft. You see that? And you mean me no good. And from the hand of the mighty. I don't want your gift, because they put in the beginning of the video, they had the RFID chip wrapped as a gift. You see? And from the hand of the mighty. So I don't want what you have to offer, because it tells you that a gift blinded the mind, man. You see? So Lord has been edifying. Shalom.